Over the past few weeks, the topic of Kyle Busch's performance with RCR has come up a lot. There's no doubt that Busch does not look like the driver he was with Joe Gibbs Racing. After 17 races, Busch is yet to win a race and is currently not looking like he'll be able to qualify for the playoffs. NASCAR Pundit Kyle Petty has blamed Richard Childress Racing for Busch's shortcomings this season. Kyle Busch is having one of his worst seasons in the NASCAR Cup Series. Right from the start, he's not been able to take the challenge to the leaders. He went from winning multiple races with JGR to struggling to even finish a race with RCR. There's no doubt that Busch is struggling. But why? During the last race in Iowa, Busch was running in the top 10 during the second half of the race, when he was hit by another car and was forced to retire because of the damage sustained from the accident. In a recent podcast, Kyle Petty spoke about the race in Iowa when he brought up Busch's performance this season. Build it, and they will come. It might take 19 or 20 years, but eventually, NASCAR will come if you build a racetrack. Newton, Iowa. What a great race. I really enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised. I saw a lot of passing back in the pack. We saw some passes for the lead. I thought it was what a NASCAR race should be. Competitive from start to finish. That's all you can ask for as a fan. It was competitive for everyone but Kyle Busch. Where has Kyle Busch gone? I have no idea. Petty questioned regarding the two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. He started last season pretty strong, and I thought, man, this is pretty good. You go from Gibbs to Childress, you make that organization a winner. And then they disappear. Crickets from he and Austin Dillon, which points fingers back at the organization, Richard Childress Racing, RCR. Now, I say that because I'm going to put Kyle Larson in that same position. Kyle Larson won 6 races with Chip Ganassi. It took Rick Hendrick, 2021 to today. He's won 20 races. It took Chip Ganassi to keep Kyle Larson from winning. The organization has made Kyle Larson a better winner. The organization has taken Kyle Busch from being a competitive winning driver to just being a guy racing for 8th, 9th, and 10th. He's only had 5 top 10s and 2 top 5s this year. In his entire career, he has only gone 5 times, 5 out of 19 or 20 years. Has he gone the first 11 races and not won? He's not winning now. They say you make your own luck. Kyle Busch has made his own luck at RCR Racing. Petty has compared Kyle Busch's move to RCR with Kyle Larson's move to Hendrick Motorsports. Back when Larson was in Chip Ganassi Racing, he was not a very frequent race winner. However, when he moved to HMS, Larson became one of the best drivers on the grid. Kyle Busch also expected such a transition when he switched teams from JGR to RCR. But in reality, it could not have been worse. And in reality, we work around the clock to bring you the latest news on NASCAR. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and relax, we'll do the rest. RCR is struggling to provide Busch with a competitive car. This deteriorating performance from RCR started when the next-gen cars were introduced in 2022. These cars were designed with the purpose of increasing the overall downforce of the car. This has made the car more vulnerable to dirty air. After the last race in Iowa, Busch went on to blame the next-gen car parts for his DNF. I don't know what happened, but next-gen parts and pieces broke. So something in the left rear suspension, I don't know if it was a toe link or whatever, came in to fix it, rolled it back out, blew the power steering wheel, belt just broke, so I have no idea. Having a pretty decent day, I mean, we had a top 10 run going. And we had an opportunity there to score some points, but not to be. A few more weeks back in Martinsville, he explained the problems he's facing with the next-gen cars in detail. The problem starts at the front of the car. The splitter and the way the air is, and everything that we all do on setup stuff to make these things rely on the air as much as they do. That's a problem. I think they went about it, and that's a funny way to say it, backwards. We don't blow the tires off enough. I think that's what we're all kind of talking about. We need these things to be faster going into the corner, utilizing the brakes more, utilizing the tires more, having an opportunity to overdrive the cars more, to burn the tires up, and see guys struggle more over a run. For me anyway, maybe it's just because we don't have it quite figured out like the others do, but I cannot follow anybody in front of me whatsoever. It doesn't matter if I'm in the bottom lane, the middle lane, or the top lane. If there's a car in front of me, I'm terrible, really bad. I will say the only positive to it is that you can slide the back of the car around a little bit more and not crash. But the front ends are just ungodly not working. When asked what he would suggest NASCAR do to fix the issue at hand, he said, "It doesn't matter because they're not going to do it, so it don't matter. I'm not going to paint myself in a bad spot to get in trouble." It seems as though Busch is done with the next-gen cars. However, there are other teams, such as HMS, who have found a lot of success with these next-gen cars. So now Busch will start looking at RCR for their inability to get Busch the right setup to succeed. After the race in Iowa, Busch suggested that he could be on his way out of the team. "I would say anything is possible, always," Busch said via Bob Pockrass of Fox Sports. "Certainly, if I was welcomed, I would go back. If Hendrick welcomed me back, I'd go back. But right now, I'm at RCR with my group of guys and the deal I have right now in place. So we're trying to work and build this program and make RCR great again." Given that JGR and HMS are bigger and more successful teams than RCR, Busch would jump at the opportunity. But will the opportunity ever present itself? As it stands, there's no room for another driver at HMS, as all their drivers are under contract for the 2025 season. But there is a spot available in Joe Gibbs Racing, since Martin Truex Jr. is retiring. When asked who will drive the number 19 car next year, Joe Gibbs said, "Yeah, we're still working on all of that, and so we just want to focus right now on Martin Truex Jr., and all of that stuff will take place later on," Gibbs said. "We're thrilled to be here supporting. All of our guys are here. Martin means a lot to us. He used to sit in those competition meetings, and he would sit in there, and a couple of our drivers would be, and I'd look over at Martin, and he'd go, makes weird faces and laughter. Martin didn't say a lot, but when he said it, it meant a lot to us." Although Joe Gibbs said that they're not focusing on that right now, it is understood that Chase Briscoe is the number one option for JGR. Even if not Briscoe, there are several other drivers who will be considered before JGR looks at Kyle Busch. With these facts in mind, it is a wonder why Busch stated that he would leave the team if JGR and HMS made an offer. It just damaged his reputation within his current team. Former NASCAR driver Kevin Harvick said he felt the same about Busch's statement. "I just totally don't understand why you would make those comments unless you were just not happy with the current situation," Harvick said. "It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't see any scenario where he goes back to Hendrick Motorsports or Joe Gibbs Racing." Kyle Busch will have to accept the fact that he's going to be with RCR for next season. Hence, he will have to work with the team to fix the issues with the car and start winning races once again. Otherwise, his playoff chances are very slim. At the moment, Busch is only in 16th in the championship standings. With only 9 more races to go in the regular season, Kyle Busch and RCR will have to step up their game to get their form back. It will be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out. Do you think Kyle Busch will be able to qualify for the playoffs this season? Post your thoughts in the comment section below.